So I found this to be interesting. Um, Lately, I was talking to my sons, and they were asking about their names, you know, and it's always fun. They want to know how they got their names, how do we pick their names, and they want to know what the meanings of them are, you know. And I got to all the ones that are old enough to comprehend, and I was getting to the last two, and one's three, and the other one's 1 years old. And I named my 3-year-old Moshi, because and I say named because like my wife, she doesn't like after the first two, she was like she gave up on names because she was hoping for a girl, and here we are with 6 boys. So she's like, okay, just don't go crazy with them. Like don't name them Cadillac or something like that. So, but at the time I was into Moses and Moses studies, and so I was looking up his name, and I liked the way mochi was spelled. So I didn't know it was going to be commonly confused for being a Japanese dish. Some of my coworkers are like, "Oh, what is it? The food?" And I'm like, "No, I supposed to be Moses of the Bible." And something weird happened with him. We took him to his doctor for his physical, and they're like, "Oh, he needs to be tested for autism. He's delayed." Um, I'm like, you guys always say children develop at their own speed, at their own pace and stuff like that. And like around the last 3 years, off and on, stuff's just been like hectic. Um, so I figured, that stuff slowed him down because like, at one point I was out of the house for like 3 months. I mean, so I thought maybe that had something to do with it. And they're like, no, he needs to get tested because he's not speaking right now. They're like, he functions, he comprehends what's going on, he knows what he wants. If he wants to bring you something, he can bring it. I'm like, I already know this stuff. He's my son. And they're like, well, you think it's autism? And I'm like, And in talking to my wife, I was thinking about it on the way home. And I was like, I wonder if that's, it's just wondering. I didn't say it is, okay? But I was wondering if that's what Moses, speech impediment was. You know, you know, and I've been reading about autism and reading about three, because I thought autism was like, like, like crippling, and I don't know. I never thought because I don't look at him as, I just figured he's gonna grow into it. He'll start speaking because this happened to my other sons, and they never said there was autism there, you know. But he's going on 3, and he says small stuff, like he's just now, I think, going through like his, terrible twos, everything his mom says to him, it's no. She's like, give me this, no, me, he's like a daddy's boy, so he takes it to me, and we spend all the time together. But I just was like, isn't that weird? I gave him that name, or I picked that name, and then here he has a speech, issue, but it's young, so it was just something to think about. And then I was looking up Hoshin. My last son, I named him Hoshin, like after the land of Goshen. I just don't trust that translation, that Goshen is the right name. So I went with the letter H, because it reminded me of Heya Heya. So I was like, we'll go with Hoshin. And it was funny. I looked up Hoshin in Japanese. Well, because I've been learning Japanese. I'm like, I use that Duolingo app, but I've been learning Japanese. So I looked his name up, and it was like, I'll see if I'll pull it up here at the end if it'll pull the same translation. But it was a weird one. It was like, I can't remember what it was. It was the supplementation of Shin. I was like, well, what does that mean? So it's led me down some more researching, but I thought that was interesting. But I've been learning Japanese because I found that on these language apps, they make it nearly impossible to learn Hebrew. Oh, you can learn Spanish, you can learn Arabic, you can learn French, you can learn all kinds of language. Klingon. You can learn Klingon. You know, Star Trek, Klingon. I'm like, but you're gonna make it hard to learn Japanese. Like they don't give you the professional pronouncing the word to you. A lot of times they don't even give you the English, the way it's written in English, so you can figure out. They give it to you written in Hebrew, so you already don't know how to speak Hebrew. You don't know how to read Hebrew, and they're expecting you to somehow pass their course. And I'm like, this is insane. But I was listening to stuff on the connections between Japan and the Mayans, and that's what made me think, okay. And I was on Google Scholar, and I found some books on there that talked about some of the emperors of Japan and how they had basically their versions of Passover. And I mean, it was just wild, but it led me to think that there is a connection to the Hebrew people. And so I started learning Japanese so I could learn the Hebrew that way, you know. And I was watching some of Alex's videos, and he pointed out like the gentleman from Africa that went to Japan, and it like reconfirmed it when they were like, hey, how can you speak our language? You know. So, but these are some of the similarities they write about here. What is the Japanese Jewish common ancestor theory? The Japanese Jewish common ancestor theory is a fringe theory that argues that the Japanese, see, they're protecting themselves by saying that, right? It's fringe. You know, they love to say that. They said that all throughout the pandemic, anyone that was spoke opposite of academia and the bought and paid for big pharma shields, everybody else was fringe. And then come to find out, once this pandemic wasn't lucrative anymore financially, that it was, then now these theories weren't so fringe after all. That, you know, this horse paste dewormer that was on the what was it? It's been recognized as a life-saving drug. It was being tested on cancer, and I watched this woman like show you how to make it. I mean, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like orange peels and stuff like that. I'm like, how do they, I mean, you know how, but I was like, how could they just demonize this thing? Because it was the opposite of, you know, taking their solution, which, as you can see, if you look at it, what's that place over there? Australia, their solution is just, it's not working. I mean, it's the first time they said the replacement rate of people will not succeed that are expected to die, because so many people have passed away due to taking, you know, mainstream media's prescribed drug. But that's besides the point. So let's see. Japan's roots are from the 10 tribes of Israel. The theory is not widely recognized, and most people may never have heard of it. However, researchers who have been studying the 10 tribes of Israel discovered too many similarities between Japanese and Jewish culture, such as language, rituals, etc. They have argued that some of the Japanese traditions possibly originated from ancient Israel, since there were too many mysterious correspondences between Japanese and Hebrew that cannot be explained by coincidence. Even a Japanese TV show introduced that common ancestry theory in Japan. So it is the theory just a So is this theory or just a fantasy or a possibility? There are over 500 similarities found between these two cultures. This article introduced some of the similarities rather than arguing the correctness of the theory. Let's see. Japanese Shinto shrines and the Israelite tabernacles are similar in many ways. The inside of the Japanese shrines are divided into two parts, and so do Hebrew tabernacles. The holy place, Hydra, and the Holy of Holies, Haidon, be nobody except Shinto priests and special ones can enter inside the holy place and the holy place, Holy of Holies. Therefore, the Japanese often pray in front of the holy place. This custom is the same as Israel's temple, and it gives a website. The location of the Japanese Holy of Holies is generally located in the far west or far north of the shrine. And the Israelite Holy of Holies is located in the far west of the temple. And there's something to that. I was talking to Arthur Scott because I was reading in Jeremiah about what was it, the horse gate that was there in Israel. Because I was like, wait a minute, there's not supposed to be any horses, and we had a conversation about that and horses, and it led to was the Egyptians having the temple before the Israelites. I believe it was, and this was had to do with Horus, and all that stuff. And then we found out something about one of the gates is supposed to remain sealed because it was the gate that the Most High walked through, so it's never supposed to be open. And so it led to, so there's something to all that, the way these gates are facing in the directions, and the directions they're not facing too. That's the other thing. Because notice that they don't face south, and we know from Zechariah what comes out of the south. Let's see. Where were we? Facing north. There we go. Let's see. Facing in the holy places in the far west of the temple, and the Japanese Shinto shrines, the Holy of Holies the Holy of Holies is located higher than the holy place. And there are two steps. Yeah, let me see if I can go back. So I'm going to start back here with the holiest is generally located in the far west or far north of the shrine. And the Israel Holy of Holies is located in the far west of the temple. In the Japanese Shinto shrine, the Holy of Holies is located higher than the holy place. Now that makes sense why, in churches and Catholic cathedrals, why they have those steps up, right? And then they're sitting higher. Their priests and pastors then higher than the people in the pews, right? But it's almost like it's almost like a stage at a concert, right? How the people on stage are being showered by the people below them, or the people below them are like worshiping them, the people on the stage. In opera, it's weird because a lot of those times those stages are in the floor and the people are sitting higher, looking down on them, So let's see here. And there are steps between them. The Israel temple, constructed by Solomon, was said to have steps between them as well. The two statues of lions, known as Kominu, set in front of the Japanese shrine as guards. However, no lions exist in the early history of Japan. Even the statue of lions have been placed in the shrine since ancient times. The figures of lions have been proved. The figure of lions have been proved to have originated from the Middle East. In the palace of Solomon, there were also statues or reliefs of lions. The next part. Temazuya, a place to wash your mouth and hands to purify themselves, is located after going through the Torii in the shrine. In Israel's temple, it has a lever which also has the same function as Temazuya. The significance differ regarding the structure of the Shinto shrines and ancient Israel's temple is that the burning altar for animal sacrifice does not exist in Japan's shrines. And there's the layout, the holies of holies. There, hide on the steps, the holy place, the altar, and the gates. There we go. And there's their layout there. So, language. This is the fun one. I'm just going to have it read it because I've been making a lot of mistakes tonight.
The Japanese language has many words similar to Hebrew in both meaning and sound. For example, Japanese and Hebrew characters are incredibly similar. Some of them are almost the same as shown below.
And these are the ones they showed on here.
In Japanese folk songs, there are many words that the Japanese cannot understand. For example, Soren Bushi is a folk song for fishermen in Hokkaido, Japan. The lyrics, Yaren Soren Soren Soren, is the famous part of the song. However, the Japanese cannot understand the meaning of this folk song even the song has been passed down from generation to generation. According to the ambassador of Israel, Mr. Eli Cohen, Yaren means to sing a song and enjoy it, and Soren means ladder in Hebrew. In Japan, fishermen climbed up the ladder and looked at the approach of Herring Shoal from a skylight and singing the song and enjoyed each other in the
past. It says past. Gives a, you can watch a YouTube video. Let's see here.
In addition, when the Japanese carry omakosha in the festival, they shout, Isa. Isa. There is the same word in Hebrew, meaning carry or pick up. Furthermore, there are many Japanese words that have the same meaning as Hebrew. For example,
let me get the examples down here. I don't know why the other half of this page is missing. Thank you. In Japanese is
arigato.
Arigato. In Hebrew it is
arigato.
Burn entry, I don't know about that. Let's see. Walk.
Uruku.
Haruku. Haruku.
Harajuku.
That's not what it said.
Araku.
Araku.
Mikado. Mikadoru.
Oh, sounds a little far-fetched. All of these interesting similarities and points, it may be interesting to investigate similarities of Japanese and Hebrew culture in depth. That's what I was talking about. I named my last son Hoshin, and we were looking up I was looking at the meaning of it in Japanese, and then I'm like, at least there's something else to look into now, because I wasn't expecting this.
Supplementary Shen.
I'm like, I wonder what that means. It might mean nothing. You know, like I tried, because I'll be honest, I tried translating Arthur Scott Jr.'s Creole that he posts, and they try to use Haitian Creole to translate, to interpret when he writes Creole, and it is wild, the misinterpretation. So it might mean nothing. So